We're talking by telephone with our son, Greyson Rennels, who is in Oregon on a wildfire. Greyson, exactly where are you?
We're near Grants Pass, Oregon, in the coastal range. The coastal range is the mountains right on the coast.
And what about the fire name? What are they calling this fire?
Big Windy Complex. It's 3 fires. Our fire is the largest, 3,000 acres. It's the Big Windy, Ginny, and let's see here. I have all the names right here, but you can go ahead and ask me.
Okay, and how long ago did this fire start?
This fire started
July the 26th, wasn't it? On a Friday morning.
July 26th. Yeah, we just got dispatched on let's see,
Sunday, last weekend.
Sunday, yeah, last Sunday, yeah.
And we're now on Sunday, August the 4th. So,
this is day 5 for us.
And how long can you work on this fire?
For 14 days.
And how many hours a day do you get to fight the fire, actually, Greyson?
16 hours a day.
16 hours. Now, that's hard work. Right now, how far up are you elevation-wise?
I'm at 40. I know exact because I'm doing weather. So I'm at 4,596 feet right now. And the mountains are 80 to 90 to 100% grade.
So it's really steep.
Super steep, not kind of steep. It's super steep everywhere, not just in this spot that I'm at, but everywhere out here.
Now, are you with a hot shot team, or what are you actually with today?
I'm with a Type 2 hand crew, and we're called the Gila Regulars.
I see.
And we have 22 men out here. We have people from Oklahoma on our team, and people from eastern New Mexico, and then the rest of us are from southern New Mexico and Silver City.
And the Gila group really comes out of Silver City, New Mexico, right?
Yes, ma'am.
And so, Greyson, what kind of weather are you experiencing on this Sunday afternoon, August the 4th?
Today is actually a warmer day, and it's about 73. So lately it's been 50s and 60s, but today it's a little bit warmer at 73. I know it sounds not that warm, but it's warm enough. We're high, we're farther north, and that we're in the mountains and near the coast. That it's 73 is for this fire at least has been more of a warmer day.
And what about humidity?
Our humidity is 49% right now, 2.53, and there's more information that I have, of course, but some of it doesn't make any sense.
Well,
but like the probability of ignition, which means, if there's 10 needles that fly off of a tree that's on fire or that's an ember, 30% would be 3 of those 10 embers off the tree would light on fire.
I see. Now, the weather in fighting a fire is very important. And so, what are you doing right now?
Right now, I'm a lookout for Division Golf, and I'm up on a ridge. I'm up higher than the guys are. They're down below me on a road, and I'm looking for any erratic fire behavior. But just right now, it's so socked in. Every day it's been socked in with smoke. It doesn't rise. It's been a very stable atmosphere, and which means it's low fire behavior. And the cooler weather has kept the fire from really going.
Well, isn't it harder though to fight a fire if it is that smoky?
It is hard, but what we have in place, it's so steep you can't really do direct line on it. So we're doing indirect.
Now, what does direct line mean in regards to indirect line?
Direct line is literally on the fire's edge. We're literally like you see the fire, the flames, and then you remove with a hand tool or chainsaw the fuel and make a fuel break, and it won't move anymore. But indirect means we're farther out away from the fire and suppressing the fire that way, because it's super, super steep, like I said before, and you put anybody in there, it's super dangerous with rocks. And not only that, the fire behavior, if it catches you, if it gets you, it's always bad. That's something that we've learned, that you learn, is that in canyons and steep chutes and stuff like that, it's not a good place to be fighting fire.
And so you are saying, in this particular instance, it is indirect or direct that you are fighting it right now? Indirect. So that means it's away from the fire line.
It's away from the fire line, but it's not too far.
Not
too far. The fire's
far.
already bumped. The fire in some areas have already bumped the lines that we've been prepping. Well, the roads. We prepped roads, and then we've used dozers to make other lines closer than the road. And there's also contingency lines too, which just means it's back behind that line. There's another line just in case.
And so when you say prep a road, what do you mean prep a road?
You take a 20-man hand crew or whatever you have, an engine or shot crew, and you go with each crew will have 3 to 4, even sometimes the whole crew or half the crew would have a chainsaw in their hand, and they go half a chain, which is 33 feet, or a chain end, which is 66 feet, off the road, removing any ladder fuels that will let the fire jump into the canopy and run across your line.
Right. Approximately how many are fighting the complex fire there in Oregon right now? Do you have any idea?
About 500 around there.
Around 500 personnel, men and women both, right?
Yes.
And so they have their hot shot crews, hand crews, dozers, anything else?
Yes, we have heli-tac. It's a Type 1 team, and we have a heli-tac. We have, a wash, a supply, a medical unit, supply unit, catering, which has several large vehicles and semi-trailers, and then huge tents with where we eat at, where mess hall is, and then the heli-tac. They haven't been able to fly, so we haven't really seen any helicopters, but we have some helicopters, and don't ask me what helicopters we have, but I believe we have some Bell helicopters out there, some Type 2s and 3s, Now, like I said, we haven't seen any flown because it's been so smoky.
Okay, because it's smoky is the reason that you're not using the air attack now.
And then to explain it better, not just smoky, because smoke is coming off of fire no matter what, but that it's socked in the cane below and around us, so you can't see at a low level, where a helicopter flies, so it's super dangerous for them when they don't fly in that.
Visibility is very, very down to a minimum, I'm sure. Now you were
a tenth of a mile.
A tenth of a mile. Oh my!
Yeah.
And so, Greyson Rennels, what about the facilities where you sleep? You've worked 16 hours. You've got to have sleep. How long do they let you rest then in between these 16 hours on duty fighting the wildfire in Oregon or any place else?
Anywhere there's 30-mile abatements is what they're called, and you have to sleep for every 2 hours you work. You have to have 1 hour off.
I see. So you're getting at least 8 hours sleep in between there, at least.
Right.
And where do you sleep?
You don't always get that, because when you get into camp you have to eat, and then you have to get up in the morning. And
right.
Most of the time, it's that extra time is spent literally bedding down, putting your tent out, which I don't do. I just sleep in my sleeping bag on the ground, and then laying down. So typically about 6 hours of sleep is what I get.
I see.
And and then sleeping on the ground obviously is it takes a day or two for you to get real into it. So the first couple of days you only get a few hours of sleep. So.
You have to get sort of acclimatized to the routine and the environment and everything. I'm sure the altitude also.
Right.
Greyson, so you said you eat at this tent right now. Well, what do they feed you? Is it good food that you can really nourish your bodies?
Yes, we do. We get really good food on this caterer. Caterer has been really has provided really good food for us, and they have to provide us with so many amounts of calories too. And so that's what's in their contracts for them for us to get that much amount in our lunch as well as in our dinner. And we've been getting really good food, really good meals out here. So yeah, they've done really well.
But sometimes you don't, do you?
Sometimes it's just an MRE, you know. It's sometimes it's food on the go, you know, and
right.
24-hour shift or 36-hour to 48-hour shift, you know. So
now, do all of the personnel sleep in a certain area that is guarded and protected away from the fire? Is there a certain area there where And so who is really over the entire fire?
What's that?
Who is over the entire fire, directing who will go where and what should be done next? Who's in charge of the firefighting?
Well, the main guy is an IC, an incident commander, and it's a Type 1 IC, and he's qualified to run the largest fires.
I see.
The most dangerous of them all, you know, and so it's a Type 1 IC is the last say so, but there's people under him, like when we're working in this division golf, there's actually a division chief and a division soup, so that's our boss, and then, but there'll be people under them, like a strike team leader and a task force leader and stuff like that. If there's like 10 or, you know, span of control, the span of control is will only let you have so many people under you. So you have to have a task force leader or strike team leader under you as a division even. If you have 100 people, you know, you can't take care of all.
No, of course not. Now, what does you said a Type 1 or a Type 3? What do you mean by Type 1 or 2 or 3? What is that meaning?
It just means the complexity of the fire, the size of the fire, and you know, like say if there's a houses, it automatically jumps it up to a Type 2 fire. The fire could be 1,000 acres or 10. You know, it could jump it up really quick. You know, I mean, I'm sure at a 10 and 100, you know, it's a Type 3 IC could handle himself well, but typically it jumps to a Type 2 fire immediately if there's structures.
And I know one of the structures are several complexes there, and the Zane Grey historic cabins. Are they still safe, or what about that? Or do you know?
You know, on our division, I haven't even heard about the Zane Grey, so I don't know.
And you're on the Jenny, aren't you? You're on the Jenny fire there.
No, Big Windy.
Big Windy, but aren't there 3 different fires going on?
There's 3 different fires, yes.
Yeah, and so it must be in a different section.
Yeah, there's the Jenny, the Big Windy is the biggest one, and that's what we're on, the 3,000-acre one. And let's see, there's one more, and the other day we saw the Jenny grow, so it might be larger now. But, I mean, not larger than our fire, but yeah, it was putting up a plume. There was a plume domination.
So, what would you say?
Calvert Peak fire.
Calvert
and
Peak.
Fire.
So, what would you say right now the containment of the fire is? What percentage has been put out? Or do you have any estimate right now?
Well, at the last time that I knew, it was 0.
0, So, We want to wish you the very best of luck and, of course, Godspeed. Is there anything else that you think our listeners might be interested in knowing about firefighting in general or the Big Windy Fire Complex there in Oregon?
No, not really. I pretty much gave you all that I could. And
well, this has been very interesting, especially to me. I hope it has been, and I know it has been to our listeners. Now, what would you say? You're closer to the coast, but are you in northern, I should say Ireland, Oregon, or what portion of Oregon?
The south.
In the southern. Southwestern portion of Oregon.
We're like 30 to 45 minutes from the Pacific Ocean.
That's pretty close. No rain at all in sight. Is that right?
No rain at all in sight. And it's always changing, obviously, here because we're so close to the ocean. But, yeah, no rain in sight.
And what about the wind?
The wind is very light, but if they get a wind of 5, the fire behavior will pick up immensely, and will actually start making. Yes, the fire behavior here is quite different with the fuels, and these fuels are used to really high RHs, 80%, all year round or something.
Oh, really?
And, once it gets into these low RHs, 30 to 40% here, which in the Southwest would mean it's raining, but here it's dry.
Right.
And the fire behavior is different and quick. It is so different. And
so what is around you as far as the trees? What kind of trees are you surrounded by?
It's there's a million different types and kinds. There's tamaracks, there's blue spruce, we're actually staying in a tree farm. That's where we're sleeping at.
Really?
Service tree seeding, I should say, tree seeding farm. And so, I mean, it just goes on and on the list. Subalpine firs. It's really, really a huge mixture. Probably some hemlock, and I haven't seen any ponderosa up here, but it's really, really thick and really moist. And right now it's dry for here, but it's very, very weird for us to be in 70. It's nice to be in 70-degree weather, but it's very different, to have such high RHs and low temperatures and have fire behavior like this. But it's very thick, very steep, and very, very wet for us. So.
I bet you'll be there for the entire 14 days that you are able to work straight through in accordance to U.S. forestry regulations, won't you?
Sure, I think so, because there's so much to do. It's just begun, and it's only probably quarter way through this thing, and we're getting around it though, and that's the great thing about it is that we're not. I think we'll have a good chance, but we're getting around this thing, and we have a plan in place and getting it done.
That's good. It's so good to hear your voice so strong and clear, and God bless you and all the men and women there fighting this fire and all the fires around our country, and we appreciate your service, and please keep safe there in the mountains of Oregon. Greyson Rennels.